3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Good evening and welcome to CASE Live for one of the most anticipated equipment product launches of all time. I'm Jessica Klein and I'm honored to be here with you tonight as we make history and introduce a new equipment category. And there's no better place to do that than from the one and only world famous CASE Customer Center in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. And we have Jeff Jacobsmeyer and Josh Belmont with us tonight. And soon we'll hear from Terry Dolan. But before that, let's handle some of the housekeeping items. If you haven't been with us before for a CASE Live, there's a Q&A box in the bottom of the screen, and you'll want to drop your questions in at any time, and we'll get to those during the live Q&A portion of the event. And now we're going to kick it to Terry Dolan, the one and only. What do you got for us, Terry?
Thanks, Jess, and I'm really excited to be here tonight, part of this next CASE Live event. Again, my name is Terry Dolan. I'm the Vice President of CASE North America, and I'm standing here in front of this cabin in Tomahawk, Wisconsin, that has a lot of meaning to the heritage of CASE and also to the heritage of innovation in our industry. Ed Drott, who was the founder of Drott, manufactured hydraulic excavators, is also known for the development and innovation and invention of the 4-in-1 bucket that many of you use today on loaders, loader backhoes, skid steers, CTLs. And I wanted to make sure we brought that in here because it's really the power of this facility here at Tomahawk. And it's also what's important to us at CASE is that we're listening to our customers, understanding the challenges that you have, and making sure that we're developing and introducing new innovations. And tonight, the Minotaur, the DL550, is that next new product and innovations in our industry. You're going to see that this is truly a Dozer first. When you get in and experience this product and see how this product operates, and with the integrated C-frame, understand why we say this is a Dozer first. But then you have the ability to use it like a loader, like a track loader. A ton of innovation went into this and a lot of customer input, years and years and years of testing, innovation, re-innovation, bringing customers back to see this product, to understand really how do we need to make sure that this performs in their business and performs for you, the next customers who are going to be working in the next innovation in the construction equipment industry, the CASE Minotaur DL550. Take a look at this video.
compact dozer loader, the Minotaur DL550. Jeff, what makes Minotaur a Minotaur?
What makes Minotaur Minotaur? Well, it's the compact footprint and the versatility of the machine on the jobs. You can go in, you can rip, you can doze, and you can load, all with one machine. It was fitting. I was walking around the museum here at the Tomahawk Welcome Center, and there's a display honoring the 1957 introduction of the fully integrated backhoe. And in that display, it says the fully integrated backhoe was introduced to reduce cost, increase productivity, and handle more work with less equipment. That was the beauty of the work of Elton Long and his team in Burlington. And 65 years later, we're doing the same thing right now with the Minotaur DL550. Minotaur provides the ability to transform a job site by potentially being the first on the job, maybe to do some primary preparation by utilizing the advantages of the optional 5-shank ripper, then the 6-way blade, grades, levels, shapes, and prep for construction or for cleanup. Then transform the Minotaur to have the ability to load out excess material or carry in needed materials with a massive 1.25-yard bucket or put on a set of pallet forks. All in one machine that can potentially be hauled onto the job site with maybe a 1-ton truck and a heavy trailer, thus reducing transportation costs and time between jobs. Some have said that the Minotaur can replace numerous pieces of equipment on a single job site and can be in and done before logistics of hauling a full-size dozer is completed in many cases.
So Jeff, what you're saying, it's versatile, but also let's talk about, this isn't just a loader with a dozing blade, correct?
That is correct. It's definitely not that. The original concept turned the heads of customers with the idea of a compact dozer loader. We not only turned the head of the customers, we turned the head of competitors as well. Now there's some competitors that have entered the market with a machine, well, they think will deliver the performance equal to the Minotaur DL550. It appears to be a CTL with a dozer attachment coupled to the loader arms. We've tried this in the past, learned the limitations, and decided to revolutionize the industry with our solution you see here today.
Jeff, and what you see today, it's the C-frame, right?
The foundation of the Minotaur DL550 is indeed the C-frame. The C-frame hydraulically couples to the chassis of the machine as well as the attachment coupler. Now this design provides the stability and smooth operating plane of a small dozer while ensuring that all operating power is channeled through the whole body of the machine. This establishes greater performance, long-term reliability than the simple combination of a dozer blade attachment to a traditional compact track loader. You can then drop the C-frame and operate with the massive 1.25-yard bucket. And then you can switch from that to any of the hundreds of attachments you may already own with the loaders in your fleet.
So let's be clear, it comes with the 6-way dozer blade and the 1.25 cubic yard bucket.
That is correct. It comes with the 6-way dozer blade, the integrated C-frame, and the 1.25-yard bucket. We've put this machine through hell and back to see what it's made out of. So CASE has put the time in to give the attention to this purpose-built compact dozer loader with countless field tests, customer clinics, focus groups, and more than 10,000 hours of field test hours. Now it is here to turn heads once again with the built-in technology and performance it delivers because it's ready. I can assure you it was worth the wait.
All right, so you've told us about the purpose of the machine, the testing that's gone into it, the versatility, the job site cost savings. Tell us a little bit more about the dozing performance and the capabilities there.
It's a compact dozer loader footprint, but it gives us full dozer capabilities. In its dozer configuration, the machine features the same 6-way blade that we share with the full-size 650M, along with patented removable C-frame we've talked about. Now add in 114 horsepower and the options of a rubber track or 2 steel track versions to utilize the horsepower. More than 25,000 pounds of drawbar pull, and you soon realize this compact dozer loader is in an industry first and in a class all its own. To get maximum grading results, where even a guy like me would look like a professional operator, one can add a machine control solution that Josh Belmont will tell us about in a few minutes. We're bringing machine control to a compact machines in a way that aligns more with the big dozers. And Josh will talk more about that in a bit.
All right, so you told us about Rip Doze Load earlier, and you just covered how this compact footprint provides true dozing performance. This is a nice ripper. Let's talk about that in a moment. Okay. What I want to get to is talking about the loader performance here with the DL550 Minotaur. What do we got here?
This loader is second to none when it comes to site loader performance. The C-frame, as we spoke about, can be quickly released from inside the cab, and the operator can attach this 1.25 yard bucket. Match that bucket with more than 140 inches of hinge pin height at 5,500 pounds of operated capacity, and this loader can load high-sided trucks and lift the toughest loads. And remember, this loader will couple and interface with hundreds of loader attachments to make this, once again, one of the most versatile machines on the market.
Jeff, are you telling me that we had a dozer, and now that dozer can load a truck?
That is correct. You drop that C-frame off, put the 1.25 yard bucket on, and it makes one of the best site loaders on the market.
All right, Jeff, so we spoke about dozing performance, now loading. Let's get back to this ripper, and I understand you have a pretty strong opinion about the ripper, right?
Well, Jess, I do. I've got a pretty strong opinion because I think that if it ain't got a ripper, it ain't a Minotaur. We have a 5-shank ripper that is designed into the Minotaur frame to deliver efficient ripping performance of tight soils and provides the weight balance that really optimizes performance while operating in dozer or in the loader mode. The rear camera will show the position of the ripper, and the Minotaur will remind you to check the ripper before machine movement. And one thing important to note, when you order a Minotaur, if you want a ripper, you must order it with a ripper from the factory. This is fully integrated in Wichita and cannot be added as a field install at a later date.
And we must order it directly from the factory because it truly is a first of its kind, fully integrated rear ripper.
Yes, it's an industry exclusive. Nobody else has one, and it does such a good job on this compact platform.
All right, so we've talked about dozing, we've talked about ripping, we've talked about loading. What about the inside? What are the operation controls? What's the environment?
Customers have told us about the in-cab customer experience, and they really like it. It feels like a true dozer whenever they get in the machine. Customers have told us Minotaur has a distinct feel for the operator that lets you really feel like what you do when you're operating a bigger dozer. It shares the same joysticks as a full-size dozer with all the same button functions, 16 virtual gears, adjustable electro-hydraulic dozer and loader adjustments allow the operator to custom fit the control responsiveness to their liking. Those adjustable electro-hydraulic controls really deliver specific dozer and loader performance. In dozer mode, it delivers responsiveness similar to the full-sized CASE dozers with the ability to adjust blade, steering, and shuttle sensitivity to smooth, moderate, or aggressive to meet the operator's preference. Blade responsiveness can be further dialed into the operator preference by independently setting the speed of the blade, tilt, lift, and angle. On the loader side, operators can easily dial in total machine responsiveness to low, medium, or high independently, and then set the lift, tilt, and drive as well. This is all to meet the demands of what the operator desires. The Minotaur shares the same DNA as our full-size dozer from the 650M to the 2050M. Parts of the steel undercarriage are used on the Minotaur from the 650, and it uses the same dozer grips that are in the 2050M. This provides a true dozer feel in the first compact dozer loader in the industry. The Minotaur has an 8-inch display, standard built-in rear-view camera, and fingertip controls for adjustments and easy removal of the C-frame. And a simple push of a button switches the Minotaur from dozer mode to the ISO mode or loader mode. Remember, our CASE DNA ensures that everything is ground line serviceable. CASE takes it a couple steps further and supplies 1 year of SiteWatch telematics along with the capabilities of remote diagnostics and software downloads. This keeps Minotaur at the top of the game and ensures that your job sites keep moving forward.
That's right, Jeff. Thank you so much. And all of that, we really just appreciate everything. Congratulations on such a wonderful big night for you. Let's take it now to talk more about machine control and what that means with our friend here, Josh Belmont. Tell us about machine control and precision construction and why that is so important to the Minotaur build.
So with precision construction, machine control allows contractors and operators to cut the grade right the first time, so they save time. They cut their overrun on materials, so they save money. And it also allows us, an inexperienced operator, to get in the seat and learn the operation of the machine just a little bit faster.
So tell me about the different types of machine control that are available on the Minotaur.
So we've talked multiple times tonight about how we share common DNA with our Dozer platform. The same thing applies to the Minotaur. We offer universal ready packages, so you can use whatever machine control that you have available. We support the 3 major brands with the universal package. Internally, we offer Copilot, single laser, dual laser, single GPS, dual GPS, and total station solutions on the Minotaur, just like our M-Series dozers.
Okay, so we understand the different types of machine control that are available on Minotaur. What else would you tell the viewers at home about machine control and Minotaur?
So we all know that there's a demand and a shortage for experienced operators right now. What machine control and our precision solutions can provide is that next level assistance to help an inexperienced operator learn the trade faster.
All right, so you told us about the different types of machine control that are available. Now, looking at a different perspective, tell the folks at home about different connected technology for Minotaur.
The CASE Minotaur DL550 offers a number of technologies that really improve fleet management and create a greater connection between the machine in the field and you as the business owner or fleet manager. This all helps to ensure uptime and gives you and your dealer some really powerful tools to make sure you're getting the most out of the machine. The CASE Minotaur DL550 compact dozer loader comes standard with the CASE Site Connect module and the CASE Site Manager app. On its own, the CASE Site Connect module provides you and your dealer with a greater flow of telematics data, which helps keep you up to date on your machine. From service intervals to performance data and more, it allows your fleet manager or your dealer service department to keep an eye on things proactively before opportunities arise for machine issues or downtime events. When you give your dealer and CASE the ability to view that data, that actually provides 2 additional sets of eyes on your machine. We'll also be keeping an eye on these machines through the CASE Uptime Center. So between your team, your dealer, and our team here at CASE, that's 3 sets of eyes looking out for the health and well-being of your machine. We take it a step further with the CASE Site Manager app. The app, when downloaded to your mobile device, pairs to your Minotaur and allows for remote access between the machine and dealer service technicians. This allows them to diagnose issues before they ever leave the shop, cutting down on unnecessary trips back and forth from the field to the shop, ensuring they show up with the right parts and tools to solve the issue, and helping to ensure that your machine is up and running when you need it to be.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it. Loved learning about the different types of machine control. Minotaur DL550, the compact dozer loader, revolutionary, one of a kind, the industry first. So now we want to take a look at Reasoner grading and learn how the compact dozer loader has transformed their job site.
You don't have to have the manpower like you can and free up to go do the other projects that you need to get done, and it's overall going to save time and money, and I mean the big thing is fuel and manpower. You can keep on going. We love the farm pond recreational side of it because everybody brags about it and can share the experience with all their friends and the neat features that we do with them. This was just a disaster, years of neglect, no ditches around anything. So we come in here with the Minotaur and cut the ditches and grade it out for this boat ramp and the gravel drive to get everything back up so we can eventually do a bunch of maintenance on the backside of the dam, along with improving the water quality by putting in solar bees and things like that. We need to cut down some hillsides, grade in some more ditches. We've got to possibly do work on the spillway and get that where it's not eroding away as bad. Just make everything a lot more accessible. Before Minotaur, we'd have had a large dozer out here, a couple bobcats, and a midi-size excavator to handle the workload. The advantage of one machine, I mean, the mobility of it is so much easier. You can use a pickup and a 1-ton with a heavy gooseneck compared to a low boy, and the fuel savings is just amazing what you can save on not having to have 2 or 3 pieces of equipment to do what the one can, and just the overall labor. I mean, you can continue on other places with different projects going on and not have to have much manpower on one site. Changing from the loader to dozer blade just takes a couple minutes, and it's really simple the way it is. And you know, changing out, you got a couple minute change out, you can do your dozing operation that you need, change back to the bucket, and then if you need to go back to dozing again, just in a couple minutes, it's back to it. You know, it's amazing how simple it is. The grading performance is great with whatever you're using. The speed of it, if you have it close, is amazing. I mean, you can just book right along and in no time at all, everything's graded really, really close, and then you can throw your gravel down there and grade that out and you're done. I mean, in no time at all. It's a beast. I mean, the raw horsepower that you can put to the ground on the loader aspect of things, you can dig in hard dirt, hard clay that you would normally have an issue with. It'll fight right through it and continue on. Once you get it dialed in how you like it, I mean, the response is amazing when it comes to the dozer blade aspect. And even, you know, with the loader with the bucket on it, you can still flip dirt for as big as it is. It's amazing how well you know, the agility of the machine overall. The thing I liked about with them controls is when you get in, you felt like you were in a dozer, so you just automatically started thinking, this is dozer controls. You know, it's just, you get in any machine, something's going to be a little different, but when you get in and you feel that, you're automatically just a mindset is this going to be running off a dozer control? Didn't know about it, but we had an operator in it, and I guess an alert was set to the dealer, and they called me immediately and said, hey, it's getting warm, you know, what's causing it, what can we do to fix it? And in no time at all, we had a solution and changed it and took care of the issue. You know, and I didn't know about it, my operator didn't tell me about it, but in the long run, I ended up getting the problem solved before it became a problem. And the benefit of it is just the fact that you can have one machine do 2 things. The maintenance on it, you know, you're maintaining one machine instead of 2, and the ease of moving it, and it still does the work that it needs to.
Thank you again to Reasoner Grading for helping us with the testimonial, and also a perfect example of how Minotaur DL550 compact dozer loader is providing value and versatility to job sites. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Brady Lewis, an integral part of the development of the Minotaur DL550. Brady, welcome, congratulations, a big evening to you. How does it feel?
Thanks, Jessica. It feels a lot like a graduation day. And it's not just me. I'm here representing the entire product development team that has been working on this project. We have approximately 100 people, primarily based in our Wichita R&D Center, but we've also had support from other colleagues throughout the CNH technical centers across the world. So So all of us have been excited to be working on this groundbreaking opportunity to create a new product category, and it seems like today is really the opportunity for us to get this machine ready and out into the world. We know its capabilities, we know how it can provide such an impact to customers and improve their productivity, and we just can't wait for the rest of the world to see it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brady. And so that's it. Minotaur rolling off the lines, getting to a dealer near you. Visit kce.com/Minotaur tomorrow morning, and there will be a full list of a 30+ stop roadshow tour so everybody can experience a Minotaur near your city. So now we're going to get to the live Q&A here, and I'm going to introduce our guests here. So we just met Brady Lewis. We have Mr. Brad Stemper here, head of product for North America. Welcome, Brad.
It's good to be here.
Wonderful. And then we've already met, obviously, Mr. Josh Belmont and Jeff Jacobsmeyer. So I have the honor here of kicking it to Mr. Bill Elverman, our product Q&A gentleman here this evening. Bill, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Jessica, and as has been said, welcome to CASE Live here from the world-famous CASE Customer Center in Tomahawk. No surprise here, the largest CASE Live audience we have ever had, and it makes sense for such a groundbreaking product. As Jessica said, Brady, Josh, Jeff, your first time on CASE Live. Brad's done a few, but I would not use him as a guidepost. Let's just go along and see how this happens today. For those of you who've turned in with us to CASE Live before, it works as it always has. There's a Q&A box here at the very bottom of your screen. We will be taking your questions here throughout the night. There is already a robust list of questions here to ask about this very exciting, the all-new CASE Minotaur DL550 compact dozer loader. Jeff, I'm going to throw the first question to you, and we're going to get this a lot. What kind of tracks are available on this machine? You touched on it in the video, but maybe give us a walk around one of these machines.
Sure, we have two track options available on the Minotaur DL550. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about the rubber track. The rubber track, dual flange front idlers and rear idlers, so it's going to keep that track in good shape for good durability. You've got landscapers that want to maybe watch the hard surfaces and you don't want to disturb surfaces, so that's the choice. I'm going to go for a little walk here. We've got another track option, is the steel track. A little show and tell here. On the steel track, we have two versions. We have the 14-inch grouser and we have the 18. First on the 14, let's talk about that. This is going to give you almost 26,000 pounds of drawbar pull with this configuration. It really ties down the power. With the 114 horse engine, this ties it down the best. If you want to go over here to the triple flange or triple grouser, very, very durable, has better flotation. And along with that, I want to mention that a lot of these same parts we use on our 650M dozer. So you're going to know the durability is built in, the parts commonality, and we're very, very excited about these two new options.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Two questions came in here simultaneously, and I'm going to combine them with your permission, Vineet and Jeremy Kautzer. I'm going to combine your two questions into one because I think, and Jeff, we're going to put you on the spot again. Vineet's question, what are the attachments available? And Jeremy's question, does it have auxiliary hydraulics for loader operation? Let's get everything about the auxiliaries and the attachments out of the way here, Jeff.
We'll do it. With the Minotaur DL550, customers have been asking, we want flow. We want to be able to run the cold planers. We want to be able to run the mulch heads. We have delivered the flow, 41.6 gallons of flow. We can go up to 4,100 PSI. This is what customers demand. And the nice thing is with the Minotaur, you drop off the C-frame and then you have the front coupling that'll take a lot of attachments that you already own. So you've asked for it and we delivered with the enhanced high flow standard.
And Jeff, you would say there's hundreds of attachments available for this machine, probably many that they already own in their fleet today.
Exactly, yeah. If you're running an attachment now on a current maybe CTL application, the interface of the front coupler is going to allow you to hook to that and you'll have great performance.
I'm going to throw this question to either Jessica or Jeff or even Brad, because I think there's something cool coming up we can talk about as it relates to this. Essentially, can you demo it for a good while at Tomahawk, or are there going to be other places to see it? Where might people be able to see this machine this fall?
Absolutely. You'll be able to check out the website for the 30-plus stop roadshow tour. Also, it will be available for viewing at the CASE Late Models World of Outlaws events. And also just stop by your local CASE dealer. It's rolling off the line, arriving at dealerships, talk to them, ask that you want to see a demo, and then also tell them you want to come to Tomahawk. There's no better place to be than up here in Tomahawk. So just reach out to your dealer or visit us online.
Thank you, Jessica. Mr. Mike Roth, one of the most venerable editors and journalists in the construction equipment industry, has chimed in here. He'd like to know, is there more than one size, or will there be additional sizes of this machine? Jeff, why don't you tell us about that?
You know, right now we're so excited. This is an industry first total for the segment. This is the only size we have right now, the DL550. Again, we've taken customer input. This is what seems to match what we're going for with this new compact dozer loader. So right now, this is the one we're highlighting.
This question coming in may have a few people here on our panel that can answer it well. What is the difference between the unit displayed at ConExpo 2020 and the models being introduced here today?
So the machine that was shown at ConExpo 2020 and the machine that we're looking at over here are, from the outside, very similar looking. A lot of the major characteristics of what makes Minotaur a Minotaur has been worked, and with our customer testing and of our focus going through the development process was pretty well set by the time ConExpo 2020. What has happened since then is the testing, and we put this machine through the ringer to make sure that we are building in the quality and the reliability that our customers expect. And so that's really, when you look at the machine from the outside, a casual observer may not notice a lot difference between the machine a few years ago versus where we're at now. But the real difference is on the inside of the machine and making sure that we have got the performance and make sure that we have met all of the needs of our customers. And so that continual customer testing is one of the things that really is the hallmarks of this Minotaur machine.
Thank you, Brady. And while we've got cameras aimed your direction, we've got another question here I think you are custom made to answer. Brady, where is Minotaur built?
So Minotaur is actually built in our Wichita, Kansas manufacturing facility. And so this is the area that most of the development team has been working on. This is also where we have a lot of our testing facilities and this brand new assembly line that is unique for the Minotaur product. And so we actually have been able to pull our manufacturing team members, specialists that have experience building our compact track loader line, have moved to this specific Minotaur line. And that's really a focus on the plant and all of the team in Wichita is to make sure that we are building that case quality into this machine, because we're all so in tune to the fact that this new category, we want to make a good first impression.
Thank you, Brady. And another good friend of many of us here at CASE, Taylor Shills. Taylor chimes in here this afternoon. Is the DL550 a B-series machine like the TV620B? Jeff, Brad, why don't we explain to the folks a little bit about the naming of the machine?
I'll go ahead and take that one. The naming of the machine, DL550, is the first of its kind, so there is no predecessor that we would need to start with a B series. At ConExpo 2020, we did label it briefly as a B series because there was a collaborative or a cohesive launch going on with the compact track loaders and skid steers at that time. But we quickly recognized that we shouldn't start with the B, we need to start with the original DL550 because it is the original.
And Brad, while we're on that, a similar follow-up question, what's with Minotaur? Why are we calling this thing Minotaur?
Absolutely. So as we talk about Minotaur, it really began with the concept machine in 2017 that we showed at ConExpo. And that concept machine we nicknamed Project Minotaur. It is a combination of two different entities, right? Half man, half bull, which is a combination of what we're doing here. Half loader and half dozer. And so that project name, Minotaur, carried through the development cycle. And as we launched a landing page with Project Minotaur and we created content around this beast, this monster of a machine that's built with integrity and strength and robustness, we really wanted to keep carrying that through. And as the public, the general public, drove more conversation around this, we definitely wanted to label it something unique and impactful. And so Minotaur stuck. And that's why we've labeled it and put Minotaur on the side of the machine, which is different for our industry.
Thank you, Brad, and I'm going to stick with you here. I'm not exaggerating in the least bit when I tell you there's about 15 variations of this question in our Q&A box right now. People want to know when they can get them and when they'll be rolling out of the plant in Wichita.
Absolutely. So Jessica commented on it earlier. The machines are literally shipping today. So the machines from Wichita are being built and shipped today. So they will be arriving at various dealers throughout North America. I will say that those machines will continue to arrive. And so as Jessica kind of mentioned, you should really try and either get in touch with your dealership to understand if they've got one coming, or contact us on kce.com/Minotaur to inquire further. Your opportunities to demo them will be at a dealership that has them, or during the road show where we stop at 30+ cities to go ahead and get more hands on these machines in the early stages of this launch. So I encourage you to get out, find one in your local area, and try and get on it, because it is something different, truly.
Thank you, Brad. Jeff, I hesitate even remotely to throw this question your way, because I worried we could spend the next 20 minutes talking about it. But I've got 3 questions here, one of which is from the great Don Hahn of Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Wants to know about the ripper attachment, the ripper, integrated ripper on this machine. Essentially, the vibe of the questions is, do I have to order the ripper when ordering, or can I add it on later? Jeff, tell us about the ripper on this thing again.
I'm very passionate about this ripper. Yes, indeed, you do have to order it from the factory in order to get it. It cannot be field installed later. So as you get ready to order it, make sure you're ready. And my opinion is, go ahead and order it. It makes the machine so balanced, even as a dozer or as a loader. You can rip, doze, and load. That's some things we've been talking about, and I'm telling you, it's so efficient. It's integrated. The chassis are different between the ones with and without. So again, it's a 5-shank ripper. It works very, very well, and the customer's feedback has been totally great about it. And then, again, I'm a proponent of the ripper for sure.
I knew we could count on you for a good answer there. It was succinct. It was a good answer. Yeah. We were just goading him into saying that. A couple of questions here. Zach wants to know, and Josh Belmont, I'm going to throw this one your way. Is there any option to have the GPS receivers roof mounted, or can it only be blade mounted? And Josh, we talked a little bit earlier too about some massless option. Maybe run down again some of the options and things we can do with machine control on Minotaur.
So with the DL550 Minotaur, you know, we talked about that it shares commonality with our M-Series Dozer platform. So first and foremost, it's universal. It shares the universal machine control option that comes standard on every Minotaur. So no matter what brand of machine control you use, we support the 3 major brands of machine control on the DL550 Minotaur. Internally, with our distribution partner, we offer 2D systems and 3D systems. We offer 2D in the form of Copilot, which is more of a great assist application, an entry-level type application. We offer single and dual laser applications, and then we also offer single and dual GNSS, along with the total station solution.
Thank you, Josh. Again, I think there's some interest here in machine control. I'm going to stay with you. Universal machine control. If I put that out and sell it after I'm done using it, can other people add different styles of machine control technology to it?
Absolutely. We support the 3 major manufacturers of machine control, Leica, Trimble, and Topcon. So when you go to resell it, it holds its residual value and offers you more value for that machine.
Thank you, Josh. Jeff, another one I know that you're going to be pretty specific on. Can I change from steel tracks to rubber tracks or rubber tracks to steel tracks?
Well, once again, when you get ready to order your Minotaur, you're going to want to decide what track option works best for you. Again, we talked about the rubber track works better on hardscapes, a little bit more forgiving on landscapes like that. So if you go with the steel track, you've got the two options. You can switch the pads between the two, so that's allowable, but you can't take a rubber track machine and turn it into a steel or a steel to a rubber. We actually changed some of the gearing, some of the speeds. So right now, you have to decide at the beginning whether it's rubber or steel.
Thank you, Jeff. And sticking with you here again, is ride control available on this machine?
It most certainly is. Ride control is standard on the Minotaur DL550. And again, customers ask for it, and it really makes it shine when it's in the loader mode. You know, you go across the job site, you've got automatic ride control. It just makes the job so much easier for the operator.
And a follow-up on that question, and Phil, I didn't mean to sell you short here. And then in terms of dampening the load there, is there suspensions in the tracks, or are we relying on ride control and other systems to do that?
Right now we have the ride control, but you know, intentionally, we built the Minotaur DL550 from the ground up as a compact dozer. So with that being said, we wanted that undercarriage to be robust, ready to go. We really didn't want any flexibility down there, so it's actually a rigid frame. And we've gotten a lot of good test data out of it and a lot of good durability the way we built it. And with the grading systems, it works great being a solid frame.
Jeff, you're a popular guy tonight, and I'm going to come to you here with two more rapid fire questions, but I'll ask them one by one. The first one here is, why did you make enhanced high flow auxiliary hydraulics standard?
You know, customers have been asking for performance, hydraulic performance, and what we've decided to do is give it to them. You know, with, again, I said 41.6 gallons per minute at 4,100 PSI, that's almost 100 horsepower of hydraulic horsepower. Cold planers, mulch heads, you can take this machine and switch to those. That's what we're asking for, lots of power.
And a follow-up question to that, obviously we're talking about running big attachments like mulching heads, cold planers. How are we handling cooling as it relates to running those high-powered attachments?
Cooling has not been a problem. Again, back to all those testing hours, we have a reversible fan so that you can program the reversing fan to actually clean out the radiator on occasion. And right now, there's been no need to put any type of auxiliary cooling on a mulch head or anything like that because of all the testing that we put it through.
Brady, I'm going to challenge you here because I know have an encyclopedic memory here. You mentioned the detachable C-frame as one of the patented elements of this. What are some of the other patented features that set this machine apart?
Thanks, Bill. There are a lot of different features of the Minotaur that we have applied, and you saw in the one of the intro videos talking about the 29 patents that we have. The C-frame obviously is one of the big ones, and that's probably more than one patent. It's all related into that area. Another area is Jeff, was talking about the Ripper, and he loves the Ripper. One of the other features of the Ripper is that it also provides an operator platform. So if you are checking the rear service points, all of the engine oil checks and everything is on the rear of the machine, the Ripper also serves a dual purpose as being a platform that you can stand on to reach better into the engine compartment. That's a patented feature of the Minotaur machine. The controls is another area where we have really gone into making this machine feel and operate like a dozer, but then we have the ability to switch the machine to operate like a loader. And so all of that characteristics of remapping the control system and the way the operator interacts with the machine, those are all patented features of the Minotaur machine. And then I guess as a third one, just to kind of give you the hat trick, another area is talking about power modes. And so that when you're operating your Minotaur machine, you can actually operate the machine in two different power settings, a standard power mode and a max power mode. And so in standard mode, you're able to get your full pushing force, the maximum torque out of the engine, and you save a little bit in fuel economy. But if a customer is really want a real heavy push application, needs a lot of horsepower, they can move their machine into max power mode. That is another one of the patented features of the Minotaur machine.
Thank you, Brady. Great answer as always. Joy here clearly understands that we have partnered this year as an official sponsor and partner with the World of Outlaws Dirt Track Racing Series, and wants to know, I'm not saying that we're going to start a Minotaur Dirt Track Series, but she wants to know how fast these can go in, she says both configurations. I'm guessing rubber tracks versus steel tracks. Jeff, tell us a little bit about the speed of Minotaur.
That's a great question. When you go with the rubber track option, you can go 8.7 miles per hour. It gives you good speed and efficiency. But like I said, when we go to the steel track, we slow it down. We're just under 6 miles an hour with that for the high speed. But you know, when we do that, we give all that extra torque to the system, and it does so much better dozing with the steel track, and as far as tying that power down. But yeah, we've got the two different speed options on that when you order the different track options.
So if we're going to race it, we definitely want to pick the rubber track.
Probably want to go with the rubber tracks, a little quicker. That's right.
But what if I race dirty? Is that?
Well, yeah.
I want the single grouser tracks for that then, I think.
That's right.
Again, a lot of great questions coming in here. Keep them coming. We're going to be taking questions here for at least a few more minutes, if not longer. Question here, and this is a question we get often. What is the difference between the CASE Minotaur DL550 and the 333G?
You want me to answer that? When we started with the DL550, we started from the ground up. We started with a C-frame design. We've got all that pushing power going from the chassis straight to that 6-way dozer blade. So we didn't take it and just go onto the coupler. Right now, with the way we take our forces and the design, it's far superior than to just go on the front and just add a 6-way dozer blade, because all the forces then are kept off of our loader arms and it's going straight through our chassis. So that's probably the main difference. We actually put that power to the ground with the parallel C-frame linkage.
I'll add in. Can I add something? I'll add in that obviously the controls inside the cab are much different too. So the competitors out there that identify with a 6-way dozer blade on the traditional attachment coupler plate, they have the traditional loader style controls in them, where this machine is set up as a dozer first, and it's got the dozer style the dozer style controls that give you control of your pushing power, control of your speed, control of blade shake, and so on. So it really adapts the machine entirely to a dozer first, and then to a loader as a secondary function.
That's right. When customers comment when they get into the machine, it has a dozer feel. It has the actual grips that we use on our 2050M dozer. It's got the same armrest. In fact, we've gone down to the detail of the fact that we have actually 16 virtual gears when it's in the dozer mode. So it's got the exact same feel when you're shifting up and shifting down with those 16 virtual gears. And like we said before, it was a dozer first, and that's what really sets it apart in the industry, is being designed as a dozer from the ground up.
If we go back in time to the fall of 2021, CASE introduced the TV620B, at the time the strongest and most powerful compact track loader ever introduced. How does this differ from the TV620B?
Differences on the 620B. You know, again, we go back to that chassis. From the ground up, the Minotaur DL550 is built as a dozer. The 16 speeds, the dozer grips, just in the EH, the remapping. So when you go into dozer mode, it remaps itself both hydraulically and electronically to function as a true dozer. All your adjustments are up there, fingertip adjustments in the controls. And then when you go to the ISO mode, the machine switches over both electronically and hydraulically. So we've got all that built into the heart of this machine. You know, it really works good as far as just the versatility of what it then offers. They share the same horsepower and some of the same, the cab and such, but after that, it's pretty much different. We've got different standard features and things like that involved with the DL550. So it is truly a different machine. Operators have gotten in the DL550 and they say it just feels like a dozer. It acts like a dozer. We've got all those characteristics. So that's something it's funny that customers are actually selling the machine back to me saying, we just love it. It's got that feel we were looking for in a dozer.
Jeff, I can't believe you forgot about the Ripper.
Always the Ripper, yes. The integrated Ripper. We don't have that on the 620, but we definitely have that on the DL550.
Hey Jeff, can you get a ripper on this thing?
You can get a ripper on this thing.
All right, just making sure. Another one of our great industry journalists, Mr. Robert Carpenter. Robert, thank you for watching with us here tonight. There's going to be some competition here amongst the answers. Jessica may even be the best. How long does it take to switch from the C-frame to a loader attachment?
That takes about 2.5 minutes, correct? Where you're going into it, matching up your pins, making sure they're in line, coupling, and setting the pins.
I tell you what, it's very, very simple. And you
At
do
least
it.
it takes me 2.5
Well,
minutes.
it might.
Take you.
Well, that's about right. So it's very, very simple. It's just like you go into the mode, you'll drop the C-frame, you'll back away from it, and you can put the 1.25 yard bucket on it, and it works great. It's very, very quick. The longest time it takes is to get out and undo the hoses. The rest of it is all done inside the cab, simple push of buttons, and you're switched out. That's another thing that the customers like. You can do it very quickly, no tools required. That's the best thing about switching out that C-frame.
A number of great questions here, and it's making me realize we should have had one of our friends from CNH Industrial Capital here with us today, but I'm confident that our panel can provide a good answer here. Numerous people want to know, will there be financing available on this machine like the rest of the CASE equipment line?
I can take that. Absolutely. Talk to your CASE dealer, ask them about the CNH Industrial Capital financing options that are available, and they'll get you squared away, whether it's seasonal skip payments that you need or whatever is best to support your business from a lease perspective or a financing option. So really just again, contact your CASE dealer or you can visit us online as well.
Thank you, Jessica. A number of questions here around, and I'm going to try to combine about 3 questions into one. People excited clearly about using this with a mulching attachment, using it in heavier duty, maybe forestry style applications. What do we think of this machine in terms of its ability with a large capacity mulching attachment? And how would we share with people its ability as a land clearing and forest machine?
That's the beauty of it all. You can roll onto the site with a 1-ton truck and a trailer, pull in there, you can put that mulch head on, clear the land. The feedback we've gotten, the work we've done with it with the mulch head has all proven very positive and very effective. I don't know, Brady, if you've got any more information on what we've done with the mulch head. It's worked very, very well for us.
Yes, definitely. Our customer testing has been very important to our design and development of this machine, and the mulching application is one of the most important things as we get feedback. So when that dozer blade is detached from the machine, having the ability to have that machine on steel tracks, customers commented about its ability to increase the traction, depending on the environment that you're in. And Jeff already talked earlier about the cooling capacity. So definitely this mulching application is one of the key things that we've learned from customers, and we've really engineered this machine to make sure it's going to give them the performance they need.
I'll even comment real quickly, Brady, that one of the key requirements in some of our validation testing was stumping. And that is where you use the corner of the blades to try and uproot a large stump. And with land clearing or right-of-way access road development, that's one of the main things that happen is to go in, take the trees down, and then make it clear of any other debris and issues that could result in bad roads. And stumps are a major issue there. And that was one of the primary criteria that we wanted to make sure this dozer was capable of doing.
That dozer blade is the same we use on our large dozer, the 650M, so you know it's going to take it.
Jeff, is there a ripper available on this machine?
By golly, there is a ripper available on this thing. It's a 5-shank, totally integrated ripper, but you've got to order it from the factory.
A couple of questions here, and again, of course, this is expected with a groundbreaking machine like this. I'm going to couch one of them, and then I think we'll answer the one. Everyone wants to know how much this thing costs. That is a discussion for your local CASE dealer. But along those lines, people want to know what come with it. What is standard on it? Could one of you folks tell us a little bit about what some of the standard premium pieces are that come standard with this machine?
Well, this machine comes standard, pretty much loaded with every option you can think of. You know, you got automatic ride control, you've got the enhanced high flow, the 6-way dozer blade, the removable C-frame, but you do have to buy the optional ripper. But it is available. One thing about it, we have a 1.25 yard bucket. That's what we recommend when you use it as a site loader. So the 1.25 yard bucket is another option. You can pick different buckets, but that is how it comes. That's how we require you to order it, is with those pieces. And yeah, it's pretty much loaded up. I don't, you know, air ride seat, heated seat, LED lights, the list goes on and on.
I can think of a few more that you missed. Cab heat and air is a standard on the machine. You've also got universal machine control, as Josh was talking about, that were set up for any of those top 3 major blade guidance systems.
Site Connect module. The Site Connect module, as well as the touchscreen display to do all the adjustments and set up the machine exactly how you want to do it.
Backup camera, yeah. Just keeps.
We could go on and on.
Yeah. Where do we stop here?
But we won't. We won't. Good questions still coming in. Are there different widths of blades or a different style of blades? Jeff, I hate to keep coming to you, but tell us about the blades on this machine.
We do have 2 different widths of blades. We've got the optional 90-inch and a 96-inch. But as you order the Minotaur, for the 14-inch grousers is where we could say you could use the 90-inch. All of our customer feedback so far, and again, we'll sell you either the 90 or the 96. The feedback has said 96 inches is the way to go because of the fact that you get so much more traction with the 14-inch grousers as you really need that big blade up there. So again, you can have 2 different blade options, but when you go with the wider tracks, the 18-inch, either the rubber or the triple grouser, you do have to go with the 96. So. But as far as the blade design, again, it's one of those designs that came off the 650, and everything's pre-drilled in there for all the machine control pieces to go on it, so it doesn't take very long at all to put that on.
So the real reason why you may possibly want the narrow width blade would be if you have concerns about getting through a specific area, you know, you have a tight gate, or some customers have issues where when they're hauling the machine, they want that to be a little bit narrower. But as Jeff mentioned, that 6 inches is not a lot of difference. We only offer the 90-inch blade on the 14-inch grousers because you need the 96-inch blade to fully cover the wider track options. And so if you really need the narrower, we've got it for you. But as Jeff said, a lot of our customers, their feedback is that you might as well go the 96-inch blade. That way you're still under 8 foot for a truck, and that gives you a little bit extra pushing power and area to push.
Thank you, Brady. Thank you, folks. A number of eagle-eyed viewers at home have noticed in the machines behind us a potentially different door than you've seen on this style of frame of a CASE machine. Jeff, Brady, folks, why don't you maybe tell us about the 2 different door types available with Minotaur?
Right. So, you know, when we move the cylinders to the loader arms, we've opened up that door a little bit. So we have a full vision door there, and with no frame. Gives you a lot more visibility. That is the standard door offering. We do have the other door offering. That's when you go with the poly, the demolition door. Thank you. And so that is the 2 different door options right now. But we do like that full frameless glass right now, and it really opens it up.
A number of questions. Again, people excited to see these and get in front of them for themselves. 2 different questions related to where they can see this. Will this machine be available at all CASE dealers?
I can take that. So this machine is available to the CASE construction dealers as a unique product offering. It is not available to any dealers that simply offer the skid steer and compact track loader line. So it differentiates itself as a dozer in the product offering, and for that reason, it is part of the CASE construction offering.
Andrew here with a good question here, and it harkens back a little bit to an earlier question about the TV620B, but I think these are good points of clarification and comparison. Andrew would like to know, how does the lift capacity, dump height, and full height reach compare to the TV620B?
I can take it. So the comparison in a Minotaur, when you decouple the blade, the 3 things you listed there, your reach and your lift height, they're very similar. Depending on the track option that you have is kind of whether you have a little bit of grousers, lifting you up in the air. But the difference is in the rated operating capacity. So the DL550, part of its name implies it's a 5,500 pounds at 50% of tip, whereas the TV620 is a 6,200 pound rated machine. So there is a little bit of lifting performance that you gain in the TV620 because that is a dedicated CTL.
A lot of interest in the integrated C-frame here, and another question, and as Jess mentioned, tomorrow the website goes live. There's a number of videos that detail much of what our panel is talking about here tonight, one of which is a video that shows the step-by-step process of attaching and detaching that integrated C-frame. But question here, I moved my screen. What they wanted to know is essentially how can you tell if and when that blade is attached, and is it hard to attach? Frame.
Sure. When you pull into the C-frame, the first thing you do is you couple with your front coupler just to get it attached, and then you will actually raise the frame up, and then there's actually an indicator over in the dash, so it's going to tell you about the C-frame pin connection. You will actually, when you pull it up, you feel it line itself up, and as soon as you tell it to go in, you'll hear it clunk in, and then you push down to make sure that it's attached. You can also get out and visibly look to see where the pins have moved all the way out. But again, there's little indicators in the dash that tell you where you're at a lot of times as far as through the process. But when it's hooked in, you know it's hooked in. You can hear it go in. It actually self-aligns as you lift it up, and that's when you hit the pins to go ahead and activate to attach the C-frame. Very simple.
Yeah, so there's also the pins when you couple the loader arm coupler into the receiver part of the C-frame. On that, similar to what you have on the coupler when you couple to a bucket, we have little red indicator rods that pop up. And so that's the best way to know when you're fully mated into the C-frame. The little indicator rod disappears and you know you're good to go because you don't see the red. And then, like as Jeff exactly said, the C-frame pins that are holding the arms of the C-frame, there are sensors in there that let the operator know when the pins are retracted and when they're extended, and it's very easy to get those lined up because there's a tapered pin that if you're anywhere near close, that pin will force its way in, and then all of a sudden your C-frame is attached.
Thank you, Brady. And we're going to do three more questions here, and I can't thank everyone enough. This has been one of the most awesome and overwhelming Q&As that we've had within the CASE Live platform here. So thank you all for sticking with us and participating as you have. Again, as part of one of the last three questions, I'm going to combine about two or three into one. There's questions about as it relates to just the power and the performance of the machine, and then also machine control. What is the advantage of that integrated C-frame over a 6-way blade attachment to the front coupler of a CTL?
Well, the real advantage, once again, is we built it from the ground up for that C-frame. That C-frame is pushing in perfect parallel to the track frame to that front 6-way blade. When you attach just to the front coupler without a C-frame, you're putting all those forces through the loader arms, and you're actually pushing that back to the back of the machine. You kind of lose balance, and you lose the ability to do any cutting or heavy pushing. So with this being done, we're actually at a lower plane, and we're driving it through the chassis so that it's going to do a better push and better cut whenever you're in the dozer mode.
Yeah, and Brad already mentioned earlier talking about the controls of the attachment. So that's another area where the Minotaur gives you an advantage. And beyond just the actual operator controls, it's the controllability of that C-frame. So as you can imagine, when you're pinned onto your C-frame, you have a very short radius of travel for the blade, and that's very similar in exactly the way you see it on a big dozer. Whereas when you're running a compact track loader with a dozer blade attachment, as you raise, your geometry is changing, and you're lifting your lift arm off of the stops. And so that's another area where not just the control handles, but just the geometry of the whole system makes it more controllable with the C-frame integrated into the chassis.
I was bad at geometry in high school, but even I can understand that. Second to last question here. Your presentations have consistently mentioned that the Minotaur has the heart of a dozer. What kind of dozer power does it have compared to a conventional dozer such as the 650? And I think Jeff, Brady, team, this is a good opportunity to discuss the differentiation between a compact dozer and a more full-size unit.
I mean, I can start. My dozer specs are a little rusty, so don't check the spec guides on kce.com to make sure I'm telling you exactly the right thing. But the primary difference is the Minotaur machine comparing to a 650 actually has more engine horsepower. Like we talked about earlier, that a lot of that's driven by its use case when it is in the ISO mode, but it also does provide some benefits down as a dozer. The machine is smaller, obviously, but it also, that small size also means it has a little bit less drawbar pull. So I would encourage customers to really look at the two machines spec sheets side by side. We try to carry a lot of the same specifications between the two, so you can compare apples to apples and really understand the applications and what use case you're expecting, whether or not the 650 is the right machine or the Minotaur DL550.
And with that, I'm going to bring it to the final question of the night, and maybe the favorite question I've ever gotten in a CASE Live. But I'm going to combine, again, as we've done tonight, one question into multiple, or multiple questions into one. The question that we got, which is unlike any we've gotten before, is someone was interested to know which of our panelists was the model for the iconic Minotaur bull that you've seen in the marketing materials. I'm not going to touch that question with a 10-foot pole, but there have been questions here essentially wondering if there's special gear, special swag that people can get with that great Minotaur logo and branding. Jessica, team, what do we have to say to people on that?
Absolutely. So we've, ever since the concept machine that we introduced at ConExpo 2017, the bull and the horns, Minotaur has had a great following. So absolutely, as the machine is all about customer feedback and performance, we're definitely going to also serve up some awesome Minotaur gear as well. So that will hit kcegear.com in the coming weeks. So follow us on social media and check us out online, and we'll be sure to update you. So everybody who registered tonight, if you opted in for email communications, we'll be sure to let you know when that Minotaur gear is up. And I mean, check it out. We've all got the shirts, right? Guys, turn around, please. Thank you. So yes, we're very proud and excited, and it's a whole new equipment category and a big night for CASE. So congratulations, everybody.
And the answer to the question, the answer to the question is Brad Stemper. We won't talk about how that came to be, but it just is. Yeah, to echo what Jess said, if you're watching this live here with us on August 2nd, tomorrow morning the full website will go live with all of the great videos and content and detail about what makes Minotaur Minotaur. If you're watching the recorded version and you opted in for that email communication, as Jess said, you can go to kce.com/Minotaur right now and learn everything you need to know about the world's first compact dozer loader, the CASE Minotaur DL550. Jess, what have I missed? Anything you want to close out with?
Nope, other than thank you so much for joining, and stay tuned for what CASE has in store for you next.
Night, everybody.